I had my first hired gig as a photographer. What? So ever since I started this photography stuff and getting into it, it's been a little over a year that I've really dug into it and tried to get better and just fell in love with the whole process of taking pictures. And I started it just because I loved it. It wasn't like, oh, I need a job, I need to make extra money. I just fell in love with photography. After I got better and started to improve, which I'm still not like amazing. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But I'm at least competent, you know, and I think I shoot some decent stuff. That's when I started to think like, hey, maybe, you know, I could do some work for other people, and finally had the opportunity to actually do a legitimate job. It was my brother, but he asked me and said, hey, you know, I want to actually hire you like professionally, not just like, hey, come do this, you know. So it was like a legitimate job, but he gave me the opportunity to really kind of get my feet wet and try to treat this as a job. Try to block out that it was just for my brother, but at the same time think like, okay, I want to do this professionally and right. My brother is a musician. He's a badass musician. He plays guitar, he sings, he drums, keyboard, he does pretty much everything, but he has a band called Peace in the Chaos. It's a rock band. He plays guitar and sings for him. But anyways, they were going in to do a studio session, and he said, hey, you know, I really want to get some pictures and maybe some video of us at the studio. Would you mind coming along and you know, I want to hire you as our photographer for the day. And I was like, yeah. I get to hang out with my brother and his band, and so I said, let's do it. So we got up and left really early at like 6:30, which for me is early. Maybe that's not for you, I don't know. I remember when we left my hometown, it was like 70 something degrees, and then halfway there we got out to go to the bathroom, and it was like 50. So for some reason the temperature just dropped and we were freezing because we were dressed for like 70-degree weather. Dane bought a sweatshirt and Blake was like freezing. He changed clothes and it was insane. We get to San Antonio and we get to the studio. It's called Cibolo Studios, and it's just really cool, quaint. It's not really that small, but it just felt small because of all the gear and the equipment in there. And just the environment was so cool. There's lights and it's dark. They had a fog machine, which accidentally set off the fire alarm. We get out and we unload everything, and I just immediately start shooting some video and some pictures, because I wanted to capture not only, you know, recording and stuff, but also them, you know, just kind of behind the scenes type stuff. I just wanted to capture the day was my ideas, like capture these moments of them in the studio, hanging out, preparing to playing, and then packing up. And so I started shooting immediately, and I was just kind of walking around and just getting different shots, different angles. So they're a 4-piece band, so it was fun. It was challenging. It was different than I thought it was gonna be. I thought like, oh, you know, I just show up and, you know, you just go to town, but you really have to think of like, I think there should be a little bit more pre-planning on my part, like knowing, okay, I'm going into a studio, the lighting is probably going to be dark, it could potentially change. Whereas if you're going to take family portraits, you know, you're going to be in controlled lighting. So that was something that kind of caught me on the go. But I used the 24-70 f2.8. Ideally for something like this, like live music, darker, dimmer setting, I really would have preferred and liked to have like maybe a prime lens with a 1.8 or a 1.4 aperture. But I still made it work. Shout out to Sony. I use a Sony a7 III, and the low light is awesome in that. So, you know, it was challenging. I had to bump the ISO up a little bit, keep the aperture wide open, but still, I think the pictures came out pretty good. Not as good as I would have hoped, but maybe that's the perfectionist in me, so. Yeah, we just spent the day hanging out, and I shot them setting up, playing, recording, tearing down, and it was a lot of fun. After the shoot, you know, I edited the pictures and sent them to the guys, And you know, they were really stoked. They loved them. We all shared them, and they shared them obviously for their band stuff. I shared them on my personal, just saying, hey, had a cool opportunity to shoot this band. And out of that, I got a few calls asking me if I was for hire. So I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. So out of this first job I did for my brother, I got asked to do 2 others, and so I'm in the process of scheduling those and meeting with the potential clients to discuss what they want. Okay, I'm seeing how this can kind of blossom. If I work hard, produce good work, you know, it can kind of grow into making a little bit of money with photography, which is cool. That's not why I got into this, but it's kind of cool to see that, hey, my work is getting good enough to where people are willing to offer to pay me for my work. That was really cool. So let me know what you guys think of the pictures. I thought they came out pretty cool for my first ever. This was the first time I ever shot live music or music in a setting like this. Definitely a learning experience, but let me know what you guys think. If you have any input, if you shoot music or live concerts, stuff like that, drop some comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Hook me up, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. I'm getting more content out, and we'll have a good time. So thank you guys so much. Love you all. Peace.